Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be discussing the detailed analysis of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. Macbeth is one of Shakespeare's fastest and most straightforward tragedies, which portrays the rise and fall of the protagonist by name Macbeth. Macbeth is an eponymous character, since his name is the title of the book. The play is viewed by many as one of Shakespeare's greatest tragedies, including Hamlet, Othello, and King Lear. The play delves into mind-boggling issues like the burning desire to possess and use power, kinship, ambition, evil, and prophecies. The play also, to a large extent, has a magical atmosphere with a periodic appearance of supernatural forces. During the reign of a king called King Duncan, there lived a great thane or lord called Macbeth. Macbeth is a near kinsman to the king and was highly esteemed for his valor and conduct in wars. The recent one is defending a rebel army assisted by the troops of Norway in terrible numbers. The two Scottish generals, Macbeth and Banquo, were returning victorious from a battle when they encountered the strange appearance of three figures like women, except that these women-like creatures had beard and looked nothing like earthly creatures. The first of these women saluted Macbeth with the title Thane of Glamis. Macbeth was startled to find himself known by such creatures. The second woman-like creature followed up that salute by giving Macbeth the title of Thane of Cawdor. This made Macbeth puzzled, as he did not earn such a title. His current title is the Thane of Glamis. However, he has not been given the Thane of Cawdor. The third woman-like creature addressed Macbeth as the King of Scotland. She says, "All hail, that shall be king hereafter." Such prophetic words amazed Macbeth. Then these woman-like creatures turned to Banquo and revealed that even though Banquo will not be king, his descendants will establish a line of kings after Macbeth. They then turned into air and vanished. With this, the two generals knew them to be the Weird Sisters or the witches. While the two generals stood pondering over the strangeness of such prophetic words, some messengers from King Duncan arrived there. These messengers were empowered by King Duncan to confer upon Macbeth the title of the Thane of Cawdor. This event miraculously corresponded with the prediction of the three witches. Amazed by the witches' prophecy, Macbeth was unable to reply to the messengers. At this point in time, swelling hopes arose in his mind that the prediction of the three weird sisters might likewise come true, and that he will one day reign as the King of Scotland. Turning to Banquo, he said, "Do you not hope that your children shall be kings, when what the witches promised me has so wonderfully come to pass?" "That hope," answered the general, "might enkindle you to aim at the throne, but oftentimes these ministers of darkness tell us truths in little things to betray us into deeds of greater consequences." However, the over-ambitious Macbeth does not want to heed the warning of Banquo. From this time onwards, all Macbeth's thoughts and energy were channeled through his agenda of how to claim the throne of Scotland. Macbeth now has to decide between waiting for the prophecy of the witches to come true or kill the current king and take over the throne. Macbeth later communicated the strange prediction of the Weird Sisters and its partial accomplishment to his wife. His wife was equally overambitious and cared less by what means her husband will become the king. It appeared at this time that the king, who out of his royal condescension would oftentimes visit his principal nobilities upon gracious terms, he visited Macbeth with his two sons, Malcolm and Duncan, and other trains of thanes and attendants to honor Macbeth for his triumphal success in his wars. The king was well pleased with Lady Macbeth for her kind reception and welcome. When the king went home, he sent a diamond to Lady Macbeth, greeting her by the name of his most kind hostess. In the middle of that night, when half of Scotland was asleep, the wicked are awake planning their wicked agenda. Lady Macbeth is up, plotting the death of King Duncan. She did not inform her husband about her wicked agenda to kill King Duncan, since she believes that the natural tendencies of his disposition will come between and destroy or defeat the purpose for killing him. Lady Macbeth took a dagger and went to the king's room. Duncan is sound asleep, and this was the best time to kill him and go unnoticed, as she has intoxicated the two grooms beside him. However, Lady Macbeth couldn't proceed with her wicked plans, since King Duncan's face resembled that of her father. Lady Macbeth returned to her husband and implored him to kill the king. However, Macbeth has strong reasons not to kill the king. In the first place, he was not only a servant, but a near kinsman to the king. He equally informs his wife that he had been the king's host the other day. Therefore, it is his duty, by the laws of hospitality, to shut doors against the king's murderers and not to be the murderer himself. Macbeth goes on to tell the readers and audience of the good qualities of King Duncan. He considers how just and merciful the king has been. Duncan is clear of any offense of his subjects, and that such kings are the peculiar care of heaven, and their subjects are bound to revenge their deaths. Besides, by the favors of the king, Macbeth stands tall and high among all sorts of men. Hence, he can't betray such a good king and such honors that have been bestowed on him by the reputation so foul as murder. However, the overambitious Lady Macbeth, who can't wait to live a life of royalty, begins to disabuse her husband's mind of such thoughts. She goes on to give him reasons upon reasons why he should kill the king. She makes her husband to see how the actions of only one night can lead them to days and nights of power, royalty, and affluence. She went ahead to accuse her husband of being a coward for his change of purpose, of not wanting to be the king of Scotland. Lady Macbeth finally succeeded in convincing her husband to kill King Duncan. She went on to add how practical it was to lay the guilt of the death of the king on the grooms that lay beside the king. Macbeth takes the dagger and went to where Duncan lay. He got rid of his fear and murdered the king. Macbeth returned to his wife. After having some horrible imaginations, he begins to see reasons he shouldn't have killed the king. However, Lady Macbeth asked him to go and wash his hands of the blood which stained him, while she took the dagger with the purpose of staining the cheeks of the grooms with the blood of the king to make them guilty of the offense. Morning came, and the news of King Duncan's death hit the whole of Scotland. The evidence against the grooms, which includes a dagger and their faces smeared with blood, were sufficient enough to incriminate them. However, everyone's attention was on Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. Despite the great display of grief by Macbeth and his wife, the entire suspicion fell upon them. The two sons of King Duncan fled from Scotland, and since the king's sons, who were supposed to take over or succeed him, had run away, Macbeth was next in line. Macbeth finally succeeded the late King Duncan. Unfortunately for him and his wife, the prophecy of the witches also indicated that although Macbeth would be the king, not his children, but the children of Banquo would take over from him. Macbeth is threatened by this prophecy and begins to change from that admirable and charming person to a wicked tyrant. He killed Banquo and tried to kill Banquo's son by name Fleance. However, Fleance was lucky enough to have escaped. Macbeth is more engulfed in fear now than ever, as he is determined to keep the throne. he begins to kill anyone who seemed to pose a threat to his reign. He continues his horrific behavior until Malcolm, the son of Duncan, returns with the help of Macbeth, another Scottish nobleman, and support from England. Macbeth is killed, and Malcolm becomes king and restores Duncan's line to the Scottish throne. Even though we did not see the prophecy of the Weird Sisters for Banquo come true, his son Fleance is still alive, and there's a possibility that Banquo's line will someday assume the throne. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.